The engines are revving up and the drivers are ready to hit the gas pedal for this qualifying session at KYALAMI 2016 36 pits. This is where the mental game comes into play. Warren Dodd is taking their time to prepare for their qualifying run.
They will want to get a good gap established for their first flying lap.
Warren Dodd appears focused and prepared driving through Crowthorne.
There's a spot near here where the teenagers sneak off to make out.
It looks like Jean-Pierre Dutoit is getting ready to make their move. They're taking their time to warm up those tires and get everything just right.
This is the moment they've been preparing for. Let's see if they can execute.
Jean-Pierre Dutoit is driving through Jixkay Sweep. The adrenaline is pumping. Richard Footman is on their out lap, warming up the tires and getting ready to put in a fast lap time.
It's a delicate balance between taking it easy and pushing hard. Let's see how Richard Footman handles it.
Richard Footman is looking relatively composed going through the S's. You can feel the tension building. Renzo Scott is out on track and getting ready to push for their qualifying time.
It's all about finding that balance between staying calm and focused, while also pushing the limits.
Renzo Scott appears focused and prepared driving through Cheetah. Richard Reshka is on their out lap.
Patience is key in these early moments, Lucy. But I have a feeling Richard Reschke is going to make it count.
Richard Reshka is driving through Crowthorne.
I have always loved this section of the track.
It's all about strategy in these early moments. De Van Heyman is taking their time to prepare for their qualifying run and get everything just right.
They will want to get a good gap established for their...
As De Van Heyman completes their outlap, they will be hoping they have given themselves enough space on track to fully attack for their first flying lap. De Van Heyman is looking relatively composed going through Crowthorne. This is where the mental game comes into play. Richard Footman is taking their time to prepare for their qualifying run. Richard Footman appears focused and prepared driving through the S's. The adrenaline is pumping. Justin Sletcher is on their out lap, warming up the tires and getting ready to push.
These are the moments that really matter. Let's see if Justin Sletcher can deliver.
Justin Sletcher is driving through Mineshaft.
Spectators near here can smell the smoke wafting from nearby grills.
There are just over 5 minutes left in this qualification session. Enzo van den Heever is looking relatively composed going through Mineshaft. It looks like Wayne Midden is getting ready to make their move. They're taking their time to warm up those tires and get everything just right.
It's a delicate balance between taking it easy and pushing hard. Let's see how Wayne Midden handles it.
Wayne Midden appears focused and prepared driving through Sunset. It's all about precision and speed in qualifying, and JP Brand is nailing both.
Let's see if they can put a good marker down.
JP Brand is not able to keep their pace consistent. So far they are 0.26 seconds down.
JP Brand needs to refocus and start putting in the lap times we know they are capable of.
Richard Footman is on their first flying lap. Richard Footman is driving through Liucock.
There's not much better than sitting near here and watching the cars speed by.
This is what it's all about. Jean-Pierre Dutoit is putting everything they've got into this qualifying session.
Yes, they are. It takes a special kind of driver to thrive under this kind of pressure.
Jean-Pierre Dutoit is looking relatively composed going through the crocodiles. Rian Barkhuizen will be looking to use this first hot lap to set a solid time in the standings.
It's always impressive to see a driver in the zone like this, Lucy. Let's see if they can maintain this pace.
Rian Barkhuizen has just completed a lap in 2:01.163. Let's see if they can improve on that time further. It's clear that De Van Heyman is pushing Thearcar to the very edge of traction on this qualifying lap. De Van Heyman has completed their first flying lap in 2:03.873. De Van Heyman appears focused and prepared driving through Crowthorne.
I have always loved this section of the track.
Justin Sletcher is up -0.1. Justin Sletcher is driving through the S's. You can feel the tension building. Tyrone is out on track and getting ready to push for their qualifying time. Tyrone is looking relatively composed going through Liucock. Richard Reshka is up -26.09. Richard Reshka appears focused and prepared driving through Sunset.
Spectators near here can smell the smoke wafting from nearby grills.
The pressure is on in this qualifying session, but Wayne Midden is rising to the occasion.
They certainly are. This is shaping up to be a great performance by Wayne Mitten.
It seems like Wayne Midden is struggling, currently 0.17 off their best pace.
Wayne Mitten is likely taking a deep breath to try and refocus their efforts.
It's been a struggle for Enzo van den Heever in qualifying. As of now, they find themselves in 20th position, which is well below their expectations. However, motorsport is unpredictable, and there's still an opportunity for them to shine and move up the grid.
I share your thoughts, Lucy. Enzo van den Heever is facing a setback in this qualifying session, but they have the resilience to bounce back. They need to stay positive, work closely with their engineers, and find the optimal strategy to make progress.
Disappointing performance from Rian Barkhuizen in this qualifying session. Currently in 17th position, they'll need to dig deep and find some extra speed to climb up the leaderboard and secure a better starting position for the race. A tough qualifying session for Enzo van den Heever. They're currently mired in 20th position, which is a setback for their ambitions. However, they have the resilience and determination to learn from their mistakes and fight back in the race. It hasn't been the best qualifying session for Francois van den Heever so far. They find themselves in 16th position, which is not where they had hoped to be. However, there's still time left on the clock, and they have the opportunity to make improvements.
Absolutely, Lucy. Francois van den Heever is aware of the current situation, and they'll be looking to make the most of the remaining time. They'll need to analyze their performance, work closely with their team, and find that extra bit of speed to improve their qualifying position.
Ernest Heather has positioned themselves well in 6th during qualifying. The challenge now is to assess their competitors and strategize how to move up the order for a better race start. Ernest Heather is driving through the Crocodiles.
There's a spot near here where the teenagers sneak off to make out.
Tyler Scott has secured a respectable third in the qualifying session. This is a great spot to use as a launch pad for a strong race performance.
You hit the nail on the head, Lucy. Tyler Scott's current position of third is a testament to their skill and determination. Now, they must stay sharp to make the most of this opportunity.
Tyler Scott is looking relatively composed going through mineshaft.
I have always loved this section of the track.
Tyler Scott will be happy having put themselves into third in this qualifying session.
Every fraction of a second counts. I'm sure they can find a little extra in there.
It's a very still day here at KYALAMI 2016-36 pits, as we're getting ready to kick things off.
The drivers are looking focused out there on the grid. I'm excited for this one, Lucy.
We're seeing Richard Reshka in the second spot. In the third position, we have Tyler Scott ready to tackle the race ahead.
The Australian driver will be focused on a good result from here.
Starting just behind the front runners in fourth place is the determined driver, Henko van den Berg. As the green flag drops, keep an eye on Ernest Heather starting in fifth position.
It's like they're on the outside looking in, close enough to see the front without actually being there.
Lining up in sixth is Joni Geldenhuys.
An opportunity for some good points today, but the others aren't going to make it easy.
On the seventh grid slot we have Caden Scott. From the middle of the pack, we have Jamie Nichols in eighth place on the starting grid.
Caden Scott isn't going to
The race has begun, full throttle ahead. This first lap is crucial, as drivers need to establish their position early on.
Maintaining composure is essential in this high-stakes environment. The ability to react and adapt will be the key to success.
The drivers are jockeying for position. Cade and Scott will be looking to get off to a good start and consolidate their position.
Like gladiators, they enter Lucy, but instead of lions and swords, our champions fight in an arena of tarmac, and with fire-breathing machines of cutting-edge materials, designed to explore the very limits of physics itself in what can sometimes be very much a fight to the death.
Jamie Nichols will be studying the nearby drivers and looking for anything that could give them an advantage.
I'd love to be on track burning some rubber here, Lucy.
As we watch the drivers fight it out in the first lap, I can already feel that this is going to be an epic race.
Let's hope everyone is able to stay focused for the challenge ahead.
Is there a better sight than a field of elite racing drivers battling for position? The tensions are high, and no one will want to make a crucial mistake on the first lap. Now, this is a challenging position for Robert Stoltz. Stuck between a rock and a hard place, with Warren Dodd closing in 0.1 seconds behind and Jamie Nichols just ahead with a gap of 0.2 seconds. This race is getting even more intense. The drivers are pushing each other to the limit.
It's like they're playing a game of chicken, but with cars. And the winner gets to take home the checkered flag and bragging rights.
That's one way to put it. These drivers have to be in top physical and mental shape to compete at this level.
It's like they're training for the Olympics. And like you said, the mental fortitude required to stay focused and alert for the entire race is wild.
I think I need a nap just watching them. The crowd is on its feet as Justin Sletcher chases down Robert Stoltz through sunset. A great moment for Justin Sletcher, who has just gained a place and moved up the standings. A setback for Justin Sletcher, who has just been passed. The race has begun, full throttle ahead. This first lap is crucial, as drivers need to establish their position early on.
Maintaining composure is essential in this high-stakes environment. The ability to react and adapt will be the key to success.
This one's going to be tough. Tyler Scott is getting their elbows out, and there may not be enough time left for Henko van den Berg to make a move. Henko van den Berg is running third. They are trying to catch Tyler Scott. Pushing too hard can lead to mistakes, and we're seeing that now. That car is really unsettled as they push for every last bit of speed. They're giving it everything they've got. It's a battle of nerves as they push the limits of adhesion, going wheel to wheel in a thrilling display of racing prowess. Disappointing for Jandre Bucas. They now find themselves in 13th. In your experience, John, what was the most challenging aspect of maintaining concentration during a race?
The most challenging aspect, Lucy, was managing the various inputs and distractions during the race, from radio communication with the team to monitoring car performance and race strategy. It's a delicate balancing act that requires immense mental discipline.
The crowd is on the edge of their seats as Philip van Staden in 19th chases after Jean-Pierre Dutoit. The delta is just over a second, and you can feel the tension in the air. Philip Van Staden needs to find a way to close the gap. It's a thrilling pursuit as Richard Footman is right behind Tyrone, keeping the pressure on for 21st place.
As a former driver, I can tell you there's nothing quite like the adrenaline rush when you're this close to your rival, ready to make your move.
Coming into the S's, the fight for 22nd is heating up. Neither driver wants to be the first to blink. And Robert Engelbrecht has just won the place from Richard Footman.
Yes, but they have to keep pushing hard. This race is far from over, and anything can happen. Robert Engelbrecht needs to stay focused and keep driving with skill and determination.
A tough moment for Robert Engelbrecht, who has just lost a place, dumping them down to 25th.
That's got to hurt. Robert Engelbrecht will be kicking.
The race has begun, full throttle ahead. This first lap is crucial, as drivers need to establish their position early on.
Maintaining composure is essential in this high-stakes environment. The ability to react and adapt will be the key to success.
Wayne Midden is on a mission, chasing Warren Dodd, who's desperately trying to stay ahead.
Sometimes you have to take risks to win, but pushing the car too hard can be a costly mistake. Wayne Midden needs to be careful not to overdo it.
No room for error here. Jean-Andre Bucas is breathing down the neck of De Van Heyman, waiting for the perfect chance to make their move.
These two are putting on a masterclass in precision driving. Every turn, every acceleration, calculated to perfection.
It's a game of inches now as Jamie Nichols tails Robert Engelbrecht closely, ready to capitalize on any mistake. In racing, anything can, and usually does, happen, especially in such an epic showdown.
This battle between Tyrone and Jamie Nichols is...
The race has begun, full throttle ahead. This first lap is crucial, as drivers need to establish their position early on.
Maintaining composure is essential in this high-stakes environment. The ability to react and adapt will be the key to success.
Oh my, Philip Van Staden is hot on the tail of Warren Dodd. As they come into Liu Cup, I'm sure they may have a cheeky peek up the inside.
It's going to be a close one. Philip Van Staden will have to push hard to create an opportunity.
Looks like we might have a great battle starting here between Robert Engelbrecht in 23rd and Jamie Nichols. It's been tense with a gap of only 0.3 seconds.
It's not over yet. Jamie Nichols is right on Robert Engelbrecht's tail, and if they can find just a little bit of extra speed, they might be able to make a move.
This is what it's all about, folks. Jamie Nichols is in hot pursuit of Robert Engelbrecht, who's just trying to stay ahead. Looks like Kenneth Ella is really pushing it to the limit. They're taking those curbs aggressively, but that can unsettle the car and cause handling issues.
Indeed, taking too much curb can upset the car's balance, leading to oversteer or understeer. It's all about maintaining that fine line between speed and control.
Enzo van den Heever could be looking for a way up the inside of Kenneth Ella.
And they are poised to capitalize on any mistake. It's just a matter of who cracks first.
Great driving from Enzo van den Heever, who has just gained a place and moved up to 25th. Look at that, Kenneth Ella is hot on the tail of Enzo van den Heever. Rising to the occasion and claiming victory would help to cement this driver's legendary status. A brilliant maneuver from Tyler Scott, who has just moved up the field.
Impressive. Tyler Scott is really showing their skill and determination out there.
Tough break for Tyler Scott, who has just lost a position.
That's got to be frustrating. But Tyler Scott is a skilled driver, and they have what it takes to battle their way back up the field.
Some great driving from Ernest Heather, who has increased their lead over Joni Geldenhuys and is starting to put some distance between them. Fantastic move from Ernest Heather, who has just gained a position. Joni Geldenhuys seems to be putting the pressure on Caden Scott. This is what high-octane racing looks like. De Van Heyman is breathing down the neck of Jandre Bucas, not giving them any room to relax.
This is where the mental game comes into play. De Van Heyman and Jandre Bucas both need to stay cool under pressure.
It's like watching two predators circling each other, waiting for the perfect moment to pounce.
One wrong move and we could see a spectacular new synchronized pirouette performance by Warren Dodd and Rian Barkhausen, though I doubt the judges would give them a perfect score.
This is where the skill and experience of the drivers really come into play. Rian Barkhausen will need to stay focused and keep pushing, even when the gap seems insurmountable. It's not over until the checkered flag drops. The adrenaline is pumping as Jamie Nichols gets within striking distance of Renzo Scott in their race for 20th. Superb driving from Jamie Nichols, who with that overtake has gained a position in the race. The drivers have been working hard to come up with the perfect race strategy. They've been looking at the weather, the track conditions and the performance of their cars.
Now it's time to put that strategy into action and see if it pays off.
Hold on to your hats, folks. Richard Footman is right on the heels of Renzo Scott, and we're in for a wild ride.
I remember being in a similar situation during my racing days. Richard Footman must stay focused and wait for the perfect opportunity to overtake.
The action is non-stop as Kenneth Ella shadows Richard Footman through every twist and turn, determined to claim 24th.
That's right, Kenneth Ella is determined to pass Richard Footman and secure a higher position.
This is where the race gets really interesting. Richard Footman is closing in on Kenneth Ella.
The gap is 0.3 seconds now. Richard Footman is going to have to work a bit harder to close that gap with Kenneth Ella.
Richard Reshka is pushing really hard, but as we know, pushing too hard can lead to other mistakes, like locking up the brakes or missing a shift. These drivers are walking a razor's edge between pushing the limits and making costly errors.
Absolutely, it's all about finding that sweet spot where you're pushing the car to its limits without crossing the line into reckless driving. That's where experience and skill come into play. Richard Reshke needs to focus if they want to make a move and pass Henko van den Berg.
The fans are on the edge of their seats. It doesn't get any closer than this.
Joni Geldenhuys is following Robert Stoltz so closely, they could start charging them rent for occupying the same space on the track.
What a move! Joni Geldenhuys has moved up to 7th. Wow, Robert Stoltz is really pushing hard to catch up to Joni Geldenhuys. There's blood in the water for 7th place.
A misjudgment by either driver could result in a close encounter of the tire barrier kind, and that's one handshake they'll want to avoid.
Breaking news, folks. Tyler Scott has pulled into the pits. The gap between Richard Reshka and Henko van den Berg is razor thin as they vie for second in this nail-biting contest. Great driving from Richard Reshka, who has just gained a place and moved up to second.
You can't argue with results like that. Richard Reshke is really making their mark on this race.
Oh dear, Richard Reshka has dropped down to 3rd.
Yes, but they can't give up. There's still plenty of time left in this race, and Richard Reshke needs to stay focused and keep pushing.
The race is heating up as Peter Geldenhuys in 8th closes in on Robert Stoltz. The gap is just over a second, and I'm sure they are going to do everything possible to try and close the distance. They're not giving up without a fight.
Indeed, the anticipation is high as Peter Geldenhuys tries to reel in Robert Stoltz. But Robert Stoltz is not making it easy, maintaining a consistent pace. Peter Geldenhuys needs to find a little extra speed to bring the fight to Robert Stoltz and move up the field.
Things are heating up as De Van Heyman tries to close the gap to Jandre Bucas. The battle for 2 is heating up as Richard Reschke tries to catch Henko van den Berg in P2. On the final lap now, and JP Brand looks like they might just wrap up this win. It's all over. JP Brand has claimed victory in this race with a stunning drive that will be remembered for years to come. Clearly at the top of their game right now. What a drive from Henko van den Berg, securing a great second-place finish. Well done to Richard Reschke for securing 3rd place on the podium.
Impressive driving to secure that spot.
Coming in 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th we have Caden Scott, Ernest Heather, Robert Stoltz, and Joni Geldenhuys. Peter Geldenhuys, Wayne Midden, Justin Sletcher, and Jandre Bucas brings home 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th. In 12th, 13th, 14th, and 15th, it's De Van Heyman, Francois van den Heever, Wihan Visagi, and Warren Dodd. Rian Barkhuizen, Jean-Pierre Dutoit, Philip Van Staden, and Jamie Nichols in 16th, 17th, 18th, and 19th. 20th, 21st, 22nd, and 23rd is Tyrone, Robert Engelbrecht, Kenneth Ella, and Enzo van den Heever. Finishing 24th, 25th, and 26th is Renzo Scott, Richard Footman, and Ivan Lerm. Tyler Scott end in 27th. There's a little bit of wind in the air today here at KYALAMI 2016 36 pits, as we're getting ready to kick things off.
The calm before the storm. I don't know about you, Lucy, but I'm expecting some hard-fought on-track battles today.
At second, we have the one and only Henko van den Berg. Richard Reschke is third. Taking the fourth spot is Caden Scott.
Big things expected for Caden Scott today.
Taking off from the fifth grid slot is the skilled driver, Ernest Heather. Starting from the sixth position, Robert Stoltz will need to navigate through the field to challenge for the win.
That SSM Beetle Evo 3 looks like it has some potential.
The seventh starting position belongs to Joni Geldenhuys, who will be looking to make up ground early on. Peter Geldenhuys is placed in eighth. Green light, and the race begins. As drivers jockey for position, they must be cautious of potential pileups.
This is where the real racecraft comes into play. The drivers will be looking for any opportunity to make a move and gain an advantage.
It's all about finding those gaps and making the most of them, especially in these early stages of the race.
And with so many talented drivers on the grid, you know we're going to see some incredible overtakes here in the first sector.
It's not just about making a move, it's about doing it cleanly and without causing any incidents. Caden Scott is going to be doing some serious cursing after losing positions. I'm sure of that, John. The racing is normally closely fought here at KYALAMI 2016 36 pits. I think we are in for a cracking race.
It's always intense racing here at KYALAMI 2016 36 pits. Hold on to your hats, folks.
They say the early bird catches the worm, and Rian Barkhuizen is proving it today, snatching up positions right from the get-go. Out of the gates, and Tyler Scott is already turning heads, gaining positions quicker than a blink of an eye. A brilliant maneuver from Tyrone, who has just moved up the field.
Amazing stuff. Focus and precision, what it's all about.
The pursuit is on. Justin Sletcher is closing the gap on Tyrone, determined to claim P16. It's a nail-biting showdown between these three drivers. They're nose to tail, pushing their limits in every corner. Incredible. Kenneth Ella is caught in a fierce battle, with Enzo van den Heever breathing down their neck 0.2 seconds away, and Renzo Scott just ahead with a gap of 0.1 seconds. It's a test of their racing skills.
Spot-on analysis, Lucy. The gaps to the cars ahead and behind are like a double-edged sword for Kenneth Ella. They can use the gaps to their advantage, but they also need to be aware of the threats from both directions.
We've certainly seen some of the drivers get it wrong today.
Anyone lost can just follow the trail of skid marks. I hear it's the latest form of GPS navigation.
Let's hope the other drivers don't follow suit. We might end up with a bumper car race instead of a high-speed competition.
At least we'd have something to fall back on if we ever get bored of regular racing. Bumper cars might be the next big thing.
The delta between Jean-Pierre Dutoit in 25th and Jamie Nichols remains over a second, but Jean-Pierre Dutoit is not letting up. They're pushing hard and looking for any opportunity to close that gap. There's 3 minutes left in this session to make that happen.
It's going to be tough for Jean-Pierre Dutoit, as Jamie Nichols seems to have found their rhythm. But anything can happen in racing, and we've seen Jean-Pierre Dutoit pull off some impressive moves before. I'm excited to see if they can make it happen again.
Things are heating up as Henko van den Berg closes in on JP Brand. The gap between them is down to practically nothing.
It's a battle for position as Henko van den Berg tries to make a move on JP Brand. This is what racing is all about.
The tension is building as Ernest Heather trails behind Richard Reschke. The gap is slowly but surely decreasing, and the pressure is mounting. Richard Reschke is pushing to maintain the lead, while Ernest Heather is working to close in and challenge for the position. It looks like De Van Heyman is in control. They're ahead of Peter Geldenhuys by over a second, and it doesn't look like they're going to be challenged anytime soon.
Peter Geldenhuys is certainly pushing all they can, but the gap might just be too much. Unless De Van Heyman makes a mistake, it looks like they'll hold on to 7th.
Oh, this is getting intense. Peter Geldenhuys is just a few car lengths behind De Van Heyman.
Don't forget the role of aerodynamics. Peter Geldenhuys should use slipstreaming to their advantage and close the gap to De Van Heyman.
This is what racing is all about. Two fierce competitors pushing each other to the limit. Every move counts now as Tyrone works to reel in Justin Sletcher and overtake for P16.
It's a game of strategy now as Tyrone hunts down Justin Sletcher. Yes, it's all about choosing the right moments to push and when to conserve energy, waiting for the perfect opportunity to strike.
Robert Stoltz wants to find a way round Tyrone. Fantastic move from Robert Stoltz, who has just gained a position. The intensity is off the charts as Tyrone hounds Robert Stoltz, both drivers pushing themselves to the absolute limit.
The chase between Tyrone and Robert Stoltz is like a high-speed game of tag, only the stakes are much higher.
He can't hold on. Robert Stoltz is losing time to Wihan Visagi.
This is a critical moment in the race for Robert Stoltz. They need to find some extra speed and stay ahead of Wihan Visagi.
The race is really heating up. Wihan Visagi is hunting down Robert Stoltz with everything they've got. A great pass for Wihan Visagi as they pick off other drivers and move up the field. Meanwhile, Robert Stoltz has lost ground.
Definitely, but there's still a long way to go in this race, and anything can happen. Wihan Visagi needs to keep driving with focus and intensity.
This is a thrilling battle as Robert Stoltz edges closer to Wihan Visagi in their fight for P16. Enzo van den Heever is giving it their all as they chase down Renzo Scott in P22.
You can see that car bouncing around as they ride the curbs. It's a risky move that could end in disaster.
As they speed through the crocodiles, De Van Heyman is relentlessly pursuing Joni Geldenhuys in a high-stakes battle for position. This is where the skill and precision of the drivers really comes into play. Peter Geldenhuys is chasing Wayne Midden in P8. We got a close battle as Tyler Scott closes in on Gendre Bucas.
With the way Tyler Scott is stalking Gendre Bucas, you'd think they're trying to figure out what they had for breakfast this morning.
Superb driving from Tyler Scott, who with that overtake has gained a position in the race.
That's what we like to see. Tyler Scott is really showing their class today.
feel the tension in the air.
The drivers are all focused, putting everything on the line for a chance at victory, pushing themselves and their machines to the limit.
And let's not forget about the incredible machines themselves.
Absolutely. It's amazing to think about the kind of engineering and innovation that goes into making these vehicles. But it all comes down to the drivers, who have to be able to handle the power and speed. It's going to be thrilling seeing how this race turns out.
No room for error here. Tyrone is breathing down the neck of breaking news, folks. Tyler Scott has pulled into the pits. It's a battle out there, each driver trying to outsmart and outmaneuver the other. A great moment for Kenneth Ella, who has just gained a place and moved up the standings.
Yes, Kenneth Ella is driving with real focus and precision, and it's paying off.
What do you think, John? Are there any specific factors that could lead to a driver losing concentration during a race?
There are several factors, Lucy. Fatigue, stress, changing track conditions, or even issues within the team can all contribute to a lapse in concentration. It's essential for drivers to stay mentally resilient and adapt to these challenges.
Great driving from Richard Footman, who has just gained a place and moved up to 24th. A setback for Richard Footman, who has just been passed. He's pulling away. JP Brand is increasing the gap to Richard Reshka.
It's really looking like JP Brand is going to be tough to pass today. They're driving with real confidence and authority.
It's a thrilling pursuit as Richard Reshka is right behind JP Brand, keeping the pressure on for second place.
The only thing closer than Richard Reshke to JP Brand right now is the paint on their cars. Talk about a close encounter.
It's a close race between Devan Heyman and Joni Geldenhuys in 6th.
If this battle ends in tears, it could be like watching a high-speed domino effect, but let's hope they keep it clean and avoid any unplanned games.
Looks like Wayne Midden is really pushing it to the limit. They're taking those curbs aggressively, but that can unsettle the car and cause handling issues.
Indeed, taking too much curb can upset the car's balance, leading to oversteer or understeer. It's all about maintaining that fine line between speed and control.
Peter Geldenhuys is on a mission, chasing Tyler Scott, who's desperately trying to stay ahead. This is where the race gets really interesting. Robert Engelbrecht is closing in on Richard Footman. Look at that, Enzo van den Heever is hot on the tail of Renzo Scott.
The racing is getting tight between Enzo van den Heever and Renzo Scott as they battle for P26. No doubt, both drivers know that one mistake could cost them the position. It's a test of nerves as much as skill.
Henko van den Berg has the pedal to the metal, chasing JP Brand. Hold your breath, folks. Henko van den Berg is sandwiched between two relentless competitors. Richard Reshka 0.2 seconds behind and JP Brand 0.2 seconds ahead. They're fighting tooth and nail for every position. Oh, things are getting intense for Henko van den Berg. They're sandwiched between Richard Reshka and JP Brand, navigating this high-speed battleground. The gap to the car ahead is 0.2 seconds, while the car behind is only 0.2 seconds away. Seems like Caden Scott is getting in range of Ernest Heather.
If they get too close, they might end up taking the paint off.
Enzo van den Heever is pushing really hard, but as we know, pushing too hard can lead to other mistakes, like locking up the brakes or missing a shift. These drivers are walking a razor's edge between pushing the limits and making costly errors.
Absolutely, it's all about finding that sweet spot where you're pushing the car to its limits without crossing the line into reckless driving. That's where experience and skill come into play. One important aspect here is choosing the right braking points. Enzo van den Heever needs to be precise to avoid overshooting and losing valuable time.
It's a game of inches now as Henko van den Berg tails JP Brandt closely, ready to capitalize on any mistake. What a move! Henko van den Berg has moved up to first. Hold on a moment. I don't think that's the fastest way around KYALAMI 2016 36 pits. In racing anything can, and usually does, happen, especially in such an epic showdown. Fantastic move from Philip van Staden, who has just gained a position. Oh no John, look at this. Jean-Pierre Dutoit is closing in on Robert Stolz. The gap is now just 0.1 seconds. A brilliant maneuver from Robert Stolz, who has just moved up the field.
Absolutely, Robert Stolz is really putting on a clinic out there, and they're making it look easy.
Rising to the occasion and claiming victory would help to cement this driver's legendary status. It's a tale of two drivers right now, with Robert Engelbrecht gaining places and Renzo Scott losing them.
Absolutely, Lucy, but there's still a long way to go in this race, and Robert Engelbrecht can't afford to get complacent. They have to keep driving with intensity and focus.
It looks like JP Brandt has found another gear in the last sector of the race.
That's an impressive burst of speed. It's all but said and done now.
The leader has just finished the race. A fantastic result for JP Brandt. Henko van den Berg takes second place with a fantastic race.
Intense race, but Henko van den Berg held their nerve and earned a great second place.
Excellent focus from Richard Reschke to secure a fantastic third place on the podium.
Great job bringing it home.
Ernest Heather, Caden Scott, Joni Geldenhuys, and Tyler Scott take 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. Taking 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th is Devan Heyman, Peter Geldenhuys, Jandre Bucas, and Warren Dodd. Followed by Justin Sletcher, Rian Barkhuizen, Wayne Midden, and Wihan Visagi in 12th, 13th, 14th, and 15th. Francois van den Heever, Tyrone, Jamie Nichols, and Kenneth Ella brings home 16th, 17th, 18th, and 19th. With Robert Stolz, Philip van Staden, Jean-Pierre Dutoit, and Ivan Lerm in 20th, 21st, 22nd, and 23rd. Coming in 24th, 25th, 26th, and 27th we have Richard Footman, Robert Engelbrecht, Renzo Scott, and Enzo van den Heever.